So in this video we are going to talk about running DVDs through the projectors. So on screen 5 it works a little different. We are going to connect it the same way the ad players connect. So for starters, we have this silver HDMI cable that you may find connected to the back of the dish receiver for Fathom events. So you'll unplug it from the back of there, plug it into the back of your DVD player right there. And then make sure your DVD player is plugged in. So we should be able to hit our power button there. That'll blink for a second and then turn solid. Now, if we come back here, you'll see this HDMI switch. Now our silver cord comes back here and plugs into where it says in number 2 on there. The black one is coming from the ad player, which is right here. So the black one is on in 1, which we've got selected right there, which means we're currently on ads. So to go to DVD, we're going to push this to switch that over to 2 and switch us over to our DVD player. Now, from there, the outside of this goes to the HDMI extractor, which we'll find right here. Now every projector has one of these. They're used for the ad players all the time, and then of course for screen 5 we use them for connecting DVD players as well. So with our extractor, we need to make sure we've got our 2 HDMIs. So there and there. We've got our power cord here, and then this little guy. Let me put some light on this. There we go. This little guy up here goes over to the CP750 for your sound. So what the extractor is doing is taking an HDMI signal which contains both audio and video, and it's splitting it into a video signal here and an audio signal here, because in our projector systems video and audio are entirely separated. They don't run together. So that video cable then comes up here and plugs into DVI-A on the projector, and we select it with number 7 where it says ads DVI-A. Now keep in mind again that we are doing this exactly the same as ads. All we're doing is using the HDMI switch to change the input source going into the extractor. So on our CP750 we're going to be on digital 4 because that is the audio signal coming out of the extractor. So there's nothing we need to do on the server side. We've got 7 selected here for our DVI-A. We've got in 2 selected on the HDMI switch, and we've got digital 4 selected. We are ready to hit play, and you are now up and running. The other thing to keep in mind with these is just that your gain levels will vary, and it's nothing we can pre-configure because DVDs are set at different gain levels just from one DVD to the next. So make sure you take a listen and see what you might need to do to adjust your volume. Keep in mind, of course, that whatever we do with the volume, as soon as we switch over here, our volume level does go back to its preset level. So any volume adjustments you make are only going to apply until your digital input is changed. And please remember at the end of your special showing to come back and switch this back to input 1 to get you back to your ads. And then you want to check the ads on screen and make sure they look right. Sometimes you'll get some funky stuff happening when you do that switch, and if that's the case, you're just going to turn the ad player off right here. Wait until the blue light turns off. We see that power button light's off now, so go ahead and hit it again. It'll turn back on, and our ads should come back normal again. Your troubleshooting for issues getting sound, if you got video and no sound, or sound and no video, is going to be the same as on-screen ads. Check your connections here. Make sure everything's tight. Make sure your blue light's on down here. Okay, now we want to take a look at, we're on screen 4 now, but this method of tying the DVD players in will apply to all of the Solaria ones, which is screens 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the way these work, they've got this neat feature where we have this HDMI in, where we can actually feed in an audio and video HDMI signal right into the IMS. And then the IMS will give us the option to use that input, which it will then send the audio the same way that it sends it for a regular movie playing off of the server. So here's our DVD player, just sitting on the platform on the back of the projector. We've got our HDMI plugged in there. Power is running down into the cabinet. And that HDMI goes from the player into the HDMI in on the IMS. This, in this case, will need to be on digital 1, but you won't need to do that manually, and I'll show you why. So for this, I'm using our projectionist tablet, and we are signed in to the IMS here. So we can just click on Quick Controls down here in the bottom left corner, and then come up here to Start HDMI. But before you do that, you're going to want to make sure your DVD player is turned on, which it is, and that everything's plugged in. And we'll see here that our light underneath our HDMI cable is orange. Now as I come over here to Quick Controls, oops, I already had it up. And then we go Start HDMI. It's going to execute that macro. And now we see that our HDMI in light has turned green, and our input on the CP750 has switched automatically to digital 1. Now we just need to hit play on our DVD player, or we can use the remote. And then at the end of the show, we can go back into our Quick Controls and hit intermission to bring us back to playing on-screen ads. So let's run through that whole thing again. This time I'm on screen 3, just because it does have a little bit different DVD player. This one's the same as screen 5's, but the process is still the same as any of the Christie Solaria ones, which is screens 1 through 4. Our HDMI cable is plugged in right here, and we can see we've got an orange light, meaning that it's plugged in, but it's not ready to go yet. And over here, our CP750 is on digital 4. So we'll get out our trusty tablet, make sure this DVD player is on, go to Start HDMI, And we have our picture on screen. We have our green light right here on our, underneath our HDMI plug, or HDMI in port. And the CP750 has switched over to Digital 1. So we are ready to play. So we're going to hit play on the DVD player. And we can see the movie's going. So that's it for connecting DVD players for screens 1 through 4 and then screen 5, which works differently. Keep in mind, if you're doing anything out at the drive-in, it's going to work basically the same as screen 5. As always, if you have any questions as you're doing this, never hesitate to pick up the phone and call me. Thanks.